Hello everybody, my name is Nanto, and this is a review of the Edelkrone 2-axis motion control system that is comprised of the Action Module, Target Module, and SliderPlus PRO. Getting right into it, I'll first show you how fast and easy the system is to set up. First, I'll attach the SliderPlus PRO to my tripod by screwing it into the tripod mount. Make sure everything is screwed down nice and tight. Unlock the slider and you are all ready to do a manual slide. For my purposes, however, I needed full motorized movement and tracking, so this is where the target and action modules come into play. Here you can see this is the mechanical head portion of the target module. It is built just as solid as any other Edelkrone piece of equipment and screws into the carriage of the SliderPlus PRO. It is motorized to pan left and right, but you must lock down the tilt yourself, which is not motorized. Make sure again you screw down everything tight. Next is the control box for the target module. It's made out of plastic to keep the weight down, and you also have the option to choose what kind of battery plate you want to use with it when ordering. The control box easily and quickly mounts to the slider by 2 included screws. The batteries pop right in and should last up to 8 hours if fully charged. Lastly, there is a communication cable that attaches to both the control box and the target module head. Now you could use it in this configuration, but to realize the full potential of the system, the action module will need to be added. As you can see, it is similar in build and shape to the target module control box and screws into the other end of the slider. Again, you can choose which battery plate you want to include when you order. I do want to point out that you'll have to replace the original fabric belt that comes with the slider to use any of the motion control modules. Edelkrone support has a help video online which I had to watch to be able to do this, and it only took about 5 minutes. The reason for this is pretty clear. The fabric belt has no teeth for the motion control modules to grab onto. The only drawback not using the fabric belt is that when manually pushing the slider, it will be slightly less smooth. Next up, I'll show you how to set up the unit for a quick track. Just turn on the unit and you'll be presented with the following options. Ground mode, which is used for when you have the slider on the ground. Tripod mode, for when the slider is mounted on the tripod. Panorama mode, where you set how many degrees you want the head to turn during the slide. And auto pan mode, which will turn the head without moving the slider. For this review, I'll only be showing you tripod mode. Select the mode, then you'll be presented with the Set To screen. Make sure your mechanical head top plate is straight with the rest of the head before you proceed. Next, measure how far away your subject is from the base of the mechanical head and enter that distance into the control unit. Once done, the target module will be active. Now, you can manually move the slider and the head of the target module while track with your subject. However, we will be taking this a step further with the addition of the action module to give us motorized control. On the action module menu, you have wizard mode, which allows you to freely find your start and end points on the slider. Photo time-lapse mode, which gives you shutter control of a DSLR while you do your move. Video time-lapse mode, which is an easy way to do a long duration video time-lapse. Stop motion mode, which gives you full simultaneous control of DSLR shutter triggering and slider movement, and macro mode, which reduces the maximum speed of the slide for extremely slow controlled movements. For this review, I'll be using wizard mode. Just press on the button, which will then tell you to press and hold the button to start recording the move. Manually move the slider from your start to your end point. Once your movement has stopped, the action module will recognize this and stop recording automatically. Now you can choose your speed from 1 to 100, as well as the amount of acceleration you want at the start and end of the move, and tap in either the left or right direction to start the move. In this mode, a single tap of the button will send the slider down the track and stop. If you double tap the button, the slider will repeat the move until you tap on the button again. So how does the slider perform? Well, after ironing out some minor issues with the mechanical head and slider, I'm now able to get a perfectly smooth slide and track. The primary purpose for me to purchase this system was to have a motion control unit that was portable enough to carry on location, either locally or out of state, by maybe even taking it on an airplane. And so far, I believe this is one of the most versatile systems that I've seen yet for the cost. I've been using the Kessler CineDrive, which is the undisputed king of motion control systems, but due to its size and complexity, it doesn't work for every type of shoot. And this is where I believe the Edelkrone Motion Control System will fill that gap. Another item of note is that it's not silent. Both the action and target modules use motors, and they are definitely audible. Based on my tests, I'd not recommend using this system motorized at something, say, like at a wedding ceremony, where it's generally quieter, or especially like a funeral. But for interviews, if you can get the camera and the slider more than 5 feet away from your subject, of course, the farther away, the better, you should be okay with that. However, I can guarantee you that the mic will still pick up a faint sound of the motors in your audio. It shouldn't be that bad if you're more than 5 feet away and they're not moving the slider too quickly. But it is something that if you buy this system, then you should definitely do your own tests and see if it's going to work for you or not. There's a lot more functionality to the slider than what I've shown here, and I'm looking forward to trying out what else it can do for future videos. I'll leave you with footage shot from the slider itself, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask.